Hello. Welcome to a calm Wednesday at 1. Calm, surprisingly, even though we've just had a full moon. Full moons are funny times for many. The way that I look at it is full moons bring up the emotion, and the emotions might be anger, insecurity, neediness, anything that might be lurking, that might have been shut down, the full moon generally brings up. And I know there's a lot more violence during full moons, there's a lot more neediness during full moons, there's a lot more tenderness necessary. A lot of people need a lot more attention during full moons. There are a lot more fights, there's a lot more violence during full moons. I don't know if more babies are made during full moons or not, but hey, that's another story. So it was full moon, 2 days ago or something like that? And I know that during a full moon, I can find it very difficult to sleep, and I can go like that. And it's up to me where I put my because it's basically raw, creative energy, power, good fuel. And what I have learnt to do is that's when I do my admin. But this time, thank God. So recent Wednesday at 1, I've been all manic and going on about how overwhelmed I have been and blah, blah, blah. And then I just thought, after a couple of complaints saying, we're bored of hearing that, I thought, actually, I'm bored of feeling that. I'm bored of saying that. And I haven't been following my own advice, which is basically chill out. So I have really evaluated my self-care. Today's Wednesday at 1. I am at one of my favourite gyms in London, and I just thought, I need to stop. I need to do I need to move. I need to move. I have not been moving. I have not been exercising, and it just feels great to stop everything and move. Get back in my body. Get all my anxiety out. Get all my, the stuff that doesn't know where to go. Sometimes I think better when I move. Whatever issues I have, whatever fantasies and fears and problems, I just exercise it out of me, and oh my God, it feels so good. I've been sleeping a lot. I went to Wales. A lot of you might have seen my Facebook lives from all sorts of places in Wales, from the woods to the seaside to whatever. The thing about being in the woods, being in mountains, being near the sea, is crashing waves and being in nature. It's negative ions. Negative ions calm us down. Negative ions are good for being. Negative ions enliven. Where positive ions, that's where the stress comes in. That's where the short fuse comes in. That's where energy is depleted. But to be in nature for the past few days has been so healing and grounding, just to stop and be. Unplug from the emails, unplug from everything, the madness of life, and just be. It's like pressing reset. Sleep is such an important aspect of self-care, and my God, I remember when I was a kid, we used to get visitors, and I used to be so frustrated as a kid. It's like, but I want to hang out, but I want to play, and they just sleep and sleep and sleep. Now I get it. The clean air in West Wales, especially in Fishguard, where I was brought up, where I was last week. Oh my God, the sleeping I did. And when I come from doing and pushing and fixing and trying to stay on top, there's no real space for things to fall together and come together and just kind of make sense themselves, rather than me fiddling and fixing. And it's a very younger male thing to do, is fix. So full moon, communicate, sleep, be aware of the manic, harness that energy and take care. So being a good friend to myself has got to be the first step, because I know that, especially when I was much younger, it was like, okay, what do people need? who needs fixing, who needs to hang out, how do I serve other people, and it was all giving the power to other people, and I barely existed. I wasn't really taking care of myself. It was very, very much, am I being a good friend? Am I being neglected? Am I getting my needs met? And it was all handing power to the other person, where what I have done is got some space for me. What's that cheap line? Stop. What is it? Don't just do something. Stand there. And that's what I learned to do. So with the friend thing, it was interesting. Before going to Wales, I had a very, very, very close friend over from the States. It's only, we got a day together, a day and an evening type thing, which isn't that much, but my God, it's valuable. And it struck me, and it's what I love about this relationship is we get to hang out, we go to the forest, we talk, we share silence, we tell the truth, we don't really think too much. On the other hand, we are both on our own and each other's cases because we want the best from ourselves, we want the best from the other person, we want the best from the relationship, which means the stakes are high, it's high standards. We don't collude with nonsense too much. It's more about, I guess, conscious relationships. It's an accountable, loving, caring. We need to be the best. We want to be the best men that we can be for ourselves and those in our lives. And what I found myself doing, strangely enough, was suddenly the penny dropped, and I needed to apologize for him for being so harsh on him and me and us. And I realized that what I was doing was projecting someone I used to know a long time ago, and we were just like viciously commando sharp and on each other's cases about our pathways, about personal development and self-awareness and spiritual stuff and everything else, and it's like have to be the best. It was a little bit too obsessive, and I realized that what I did, much as this guy that I hung out with in the forest the other day, I projected all of this on him in the little space and time that we have, and it's like, wait a minute, that's someone else from another time, and that's the past, and it's not leaving enough space for our being. And I thought, wait a minute, who else am I projecting that you should be like my ex-girlfriend or my ex-best friend or my father or my whatever. What I kind of got really clear about is my past relationships are past relationships, and they do not have to dictate. I don't have to project. I don't have to punish people presently in my life to be as good as or similar to the past. It's like be present with my friends rather than being that needy, being that pusher, etc., etc. Funny thing, I forgot to do this last week. Shortlist mag. Can you see that?
Yep.
Shortlist magazine. This was, I think, last week. Shortlist did a whole issue on friends. Cheers, mate. And the whole thing's about friends and friendships and the benefits of friends and things like that. And how cool is this? There is a little bitty. Can you see that?
Yep.
My friend Alex.
Up a bit. Yeah.
That's us. So, glasses. I'm 53 after all. This is so cool. Pay attention to advice they give you. So this is about friendship. My friend Kenny Mamarella-D'Cruz, also known as the Man Whisperer, has spent many hours helping me to get clarity on girlfriends, clients, family, and the complexities of running a successful business. I actually record our conversations and listen back to them, as he can get quite intense, and I don't want to misunderstand anything. Oh my God, can I get intense? Please, if you know me, learn to say, look me in the eye and say, shut up, or back off, or enough already. Because it's not fair that I inflict my intensity on other people, and it's like other people kind of take it because they want to miss something. But anyway, we stay sane, and that's the thing. It's sanity. Hanging out with my friends. It's rude to think what's up, what needs fixing, what needs discussing. Being time, or check this out, or what do you think to this, or it's exactly the same as the men's groups. We hang out and we go, this is what's going on with me, or what do you think to this, or how did you deal with this if this came up. It's like sharing experiences and just being in the space together rather than finding trouble and shooting it or fixing it.
Mark says good.
Which Mark?
Hey,
Hey, I hope Mind Body Spirit went well for you. I missed Mind Body Spirit Festival this year because I was in Wales. We stay sane, stomping in Epping Forest. Yeah, I hang out in Epping Forest with all my best friends. It's good to spend time talking and listening to friends. And Kenny has so much wisdom to share. I don't want to miss any of it. Sometimes debriefing and having a laugh on the phone is all we can fit in. But Kenny has always walked by my side. He's there in my darkness, and as things grow out of control, he brings out the best in me to fulfill my true potential. Now that's a clue. I used to have friends who didn't bring out the best in me. Sometimes I just felt like crap after hanging out with them, and it's like, what was that about? Very simple rule of thumb is hanging out with people. Did I feel safe? Did I feel enlivened? Do I feel better about myself? Have I gained something? Or do I feel drained? Do I feel battered? Do I feel like I've had the energy sucked out of me? So in June, oh, by the way, I was also in You Magazine, the Mail on Sunday. I haven't got a copy here, I was in Wales and I missed it. But I was in You Magazine, and this is all about men and health. And it's Men's Health Week, middle of June, and every day of Men's Health Week we're putting on a different thing, basically so we get to hang out. Bunch of blokes hanging out. Most blokes don't even know each other. I think Monday night we're doing comedy at the Angel. Tuesday night we're doing MenSpeak. No, Tuesday day we're doing MenSpeak online. Wednesday evening, is that when you're doing your thing in South Bank? So the blokes that are training to run their own men's groups are, so it's called Men Facilitate, they are running their own free group at South Bank. Thursday there's a group at College of Psychic Studies in the evening, men's group. Friday, playback theatre. So Monday and Friday are both free. So go to mensgroups.co.uk and you will see everything that's on. Click and come. So Monday and Friday are free. Playback theatre is you tell people your whatever story you want to and they play it back to you, improvisational theatre. And then Saturday is Men Facilitate, for men and women who want to facilitate their own men's groups or pick up the skills for their businesses or conscious conversations or whatever it is. So Men's Health Week, we need to get healthy. I did MenSpeak Radio with Johan Harry recently. He wrote the book about mental health, and one of the big quotes that I've taken from him is about, what does he call it? Social medicine. It's like, rather than isolate and medicate, whether it's legal or illegal drugs, connect and get social and get touched and be part of a community and hang out and get real, because that is healthy. Talking about connection, so there's a lot of dating going on. Can you see that?
Yep.
There's a lot of dating going on at the moment. Spring is obviously in the air, and I know there's another thing about the full moon. People get horny, silly horny. Maybe I should just own that. Anyway, if you go to themanwhisperer.co.uk, under blogs, I have this amongst other things, which is basically exercises and tips and all sorts of things, so you get to know yourself better, you get to know your shadow, and you get to know, to an extent, how to attract a decent partner. We also run the Men Flirt. Actually, we're doing this at camping, aren't we? End of June, we are doing our annual men camp, where we all hang out. Again, some of the blokes just don't know each other, it's the first time we meet. Some of the blokes have known each other for years. But we're going to camp, we have a farm to ourselves, Paul's sorting out all the food, and part of what we're going to do is, it's not even getting into the flirting thing, we're going to do men babble, because especially decent men don't say the wrong thing. therefore so many men just eat their words, withdraw and think about things, and we're going to babble things out. We're going to also get things out that have been suppressed, including anger, including the unsaid, including unfinished business, etc., etc. So there's going to be food, there's going to be nature, there's going to be hanging out, there's going to be fires, there's going to be babbling, there's going to be workshop, there's going to be shouting, there's going to be all sorts of shenanigans, all on mensgroups.co.uk. So go to mensgroups.co.uk, no, themanwhisperer.co.uk, blogs, and you'll find this amongst other things. How to be a best friend, how to be a good friend. Well, I think the first thing is what I said I did with myself recently is I need to be a good friend to me before I can share that with anyone else. And that's going to be all about self-care, which is eat well, exercise, sleep, connect with people, communicate, tell the truth, listen to yourself, listen to other people. Be aware of your energy, be aware of what feeds you, be aware of what drains you, be aware of your needs. Didn't I do something recently? Oh my God, it was the May the 4th, what do you call it, newsletter, where I put the what enlivens you and how to live the force in your life. Now, one woman who I have actually fancied since the 80s, who has been quite a powerhouse, quite a force in my life, is a woman called Marianne Williamson. Check this out. I'm going to see Marianne Williamson tonight, which is why I'm going to finally have that haircut I keep going on about, and I'm going to look pretty for her. I think there are about a dozen of us going tonight. Alternatives organised it. And a long time ago, in the 90s, I was asked, I produced this. Can you see this?
Yep.
Yes. So this is a book that a few of us got together of Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson is a best-selling author. I think one of her most well-known books is A Woman's Worth. She's written all sorts of books. Anyway, this book that we got together of her prayers and lectures then was taken by her publisher and made into this. And, you know, I'm not one to brag and boast, as you know. But, so there's a little inscription for me. And somewhere here, here we go, special thanks. She's mentioned me in her book. How cool is that? Special thanks. So we're going to see Marianne Williamson tonight. And there I have been so lucky with so many brilliant teachers in my life. But I would say the most important thing for me on my path, whether it's with my health, with my teachers, with the tools I've picked up, with the organisations, with the inspiration, is I find it so important to pick up my tools and move on, rather than handing my power over to a girlfriend, wife now, I'm married very happily, handing my power over to a friend or a best friend or a group of friends because I don't want to be excluded, colluding with things I don't believe in. So same with Marianne and A Course in Miracles, as I did with Theosophy, as I've done with, for example, the Mindcamp Project was a very good weekend training that I did. So many of the trainings, so many of the books, so many of the things that I've picked up and read, I've been really good at not being an addict. I've been really good at honouring the organisations, giving back to the organisations, but picking up my tools and moving on. My pathway of growth. The sad thing, they say, about walking your path is it's a solitary path. For me, the joyous thing about my solitary path is I can walk alongside people. My old habit in friendships, in any relationships, was to be enmeshed with people, it's like, okay, if I save you, you won't abandon me. If I do this for you, then you're not going anywhere. If I run, then you know, whatever my manipulation games were. But what I have learned with myself, with my pathway, with my friends, with my relationships, and also with the men's groups, thanks to the men's groups, is it's about being. being with myself, picking up the tools, practicing, and being in community. So I hope that I get to hang out with some of you. I mean, it's not all blokes. I think the comedy on the Monday and the playback on the Friday is for women as well. The men facilitate on the Saturday is for women as well. But it's like community. I love creating and taking part in and contributing to and receiving from community. And thankfully, I'm no longer addicted to my adrenaline and my overwhelm. I have taken space, I have stopped, I have listened, I have listened to my heart, hear what it's saying. That's Diana Ross, isn't it? Do you know what? With that inner DJ, final song, which we're going to put at the end here, I'm going to stop. Is there stuff that I said I'd say that I haven't said? I like that I haven't been too gushy and over the top. What a relief all round. What a relief. So I hope to see you in the field.